Hello, Divine Ones. This is Ashley for FD 1111 Ministries, home of Tarot, Bible, and Alchemy. This is the new moon reading in Gemini happening on May 22nd, 2020. And I will cover the divine numerology. But first, let me pick a couple cards for the overall collective energy. All right. And I will go over these cards after I go over the astrology for this moment in time. Okay. This is the last new moon until the eclipse in June. In this video, I will cover the divine numerology, like I mentioned before, the new moon, trine Saturn, Mercury and Venus square Neptune, Mars in Pisces Sextile Uranus in Taurus, and any other channel messages that may come through. This new moon is an earthy, airy moon with the focus on polarities, structure, empathy, and clarity. The signs that will mostly be affected by this energy are the mutable signs, Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo, and those with strong placements in Mars, Neptune, Pisces, and Gemini. There's a lot of activity happening in the sign of Gemini. The North Node is newly placed there, Mercury 20 degrees in its home sign until later this month, Venus retrograde at 20 degrees here, and the Moon and Sun both 2 degrees in this sign. The new moon trine Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, freedom through structure, focusing on small communities, local and/or small businesses. This is expanding with Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn. If you are a small business or a spiritual business owner, just keep pushing forward, making sure the fundamentals are in place to handle the influx coming later this year. With the divine numerology, there are a lot of twos, which speaks to polarities and dualism. The sun and the moon, both 2 degrees, light and dark, feminine and masculine, push and pull. Venus and Mercury and Neptune all at 20 degrees. And the date, May 22nd, 2020. The focus is change by breaking the old construct and building from the rubble of the broken pieces. Gemini is the sign of twins, being opposite but the same. Gemini also rules short distance travel, sharing, writing, the lungs, which are especially important right now, quick changes and higher wisdom, embodying the full experience and grasping and understanding all concepts, even if you don't agree. Venus retrograde stationed and Mercury in Gemini, inspired downloads of new information, is squared Neptune, can present a challenge for some. With so much information on social media, which is ruled by Gemini, and with people influenced by the Venusian energy want to be stimulated by what feels good and looks appeasing. Heavily influenced by Neptune, gossip, confusion, indecision, and only seeking what one wants can be dangerous. Advertising can appeal to the senses more, but may not serve what was promised. Overspending, overeating, and overindulgence is cautioned. Businesses are opening back up, and some that may be overly anxious remain poised at this time. Over the period of Venus retrograde, as Mercury moves into Cancer, our local communities, which include our homes and even online small social groups, become more of a focus. Local food chains, home goods, relationships, etc. But I'll cover that in the monthly videos. Lastly, Mars in Pisces, sextile Uranus in Taurus. Mars is taking action and independence in the sign of intuitiveness, aspecting Uranus, the planet of quick, sudden change, in the earthy sign of stability, resources, and abundance. Here we have a portal of inspiration from the divine to take sudden action that will yield monetary gain. Overall, this energy is great for downloads from spirit, from your guides to take inspired action for an abundant change and longevity. Make sure you don't overthink or indulge in mind games or gossip. Utilize this creative force for positivity and embetterment. Allow your intuition to guide you in action, even in daily activities, especially as things reopen and things attempt to get back to normal. Okay, so we have a Daughter of Swords. With that, I feel like someone, it could be a air energy, but I also hear Pisces. Someone could be tapping into that type of energy. They could be having some type of dream activity, or they could be dealing with a Pisces altogether. But I also feel like that is intuitive balance, where you have your intuitiveness or your imagination or your subconscious mind paired with the reality, paired with physicality, paired with something that is concrete, something that is earthy. Although that sign doesn't necessarily represent that, I just feel that. Work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. So we did just roll out of that Scorpio full moon. But I feel like this, like I was saying, the subconscious mind. That's what I feel like. It's a whole lot of activity happening with many of the collective. And I hear collective bunch. So it's not the entire collective that's experiencing this type of change. I really feel like this is the change in the markets and the market space, but it feels like more so like people that have healing abilities, especially with the Piscean energy. They are natural healers, but it feels like distance healing, people that could be Reiki practitioners, they could be prayer practitioners. And mentioning that, make sure you check out the link down below if you need prayer. They could be anybody that's dealing with any type of spirituality and helping to raise the consciousness and the conscious awareness of consciousness altogether. All right, well, we have a divine marriage. Okay, so, all right, I have a message right here. And that is completely something that could be a couple right here. I'm going to put this off to the side. So I feel like this is a whole nother situation right here for a couple individuals. It may not be for everyone. I don't feel like it's part of the collective as a whole, part of this reading. Okay, so we do have like a divine marriage. And so the divine marriage, it really feels like right now, overall, like Gemini energy, where you have the masculine and the feminine coming together. And that could, once again, represent the conscious mind and the subconscious mind that are merging. Another way of how to read this energy, and I even hear information, is like someone that's going from this, like a mess, like their life has been a mess. This is how the way they feel inside. It almost seems like a parasite, something that has been feeding on their energy. Could be an energy vampire, like someone that they may live with or they have been forced to be with for a while. Going to more of a stillness, more of a knowing. All right, so look at the difference between these two energies. You see the worm here, that worm in sliced up and all intermingled with this and with the claw, almost decayed, if you will, to like all well put together, inspired, a growing momentum. It's not a queen, it's not a king, but it is a daughter. So a daughter is like the spark, like the beginning, and like a person that is taking something out of the rubble, like I was mentioning before when I was talking about with the astrology, taking something out of the rubble and creating something completely new and well put together. This could be someone that is repackaging their services, tearing down their business establishment and remarketing their product, making it look more polished, making it look more professional. This could be someone with relationships, taking, I hear scrap metal, like taking something that once was painful and allowing the divine to heal your story, and you take that story and give it or share it to others, maybe even a branch or a group. All right, give me a second. This could be, with that Venus in retrograde, a relationship that didn't serve you at first and now it's coming back around, and it's like the energy is just right. It's just the right timing, it's just the right purpose. I hear, and also I hear the right person. So it could be a different person for some, or it could be the same person coming back around. And it's like someone that could be scared subconsciously. The eighth house deals with the subconscious mind. But the number 8 for me, we have a number 8 here too, is as above, so below. So as you think that this person will hurt you, or this situation, or that product that you were going to that you worked so hard on, but it didn't really pan out the way how you wanted it to, or that idea, whatever it may be for you specifically, that as you think it is no good, it will play out to be no good, because you are the portal, you are the intermedium between what is thought of and what will become in reality. This as well deals with the A house, like I was saying before, deals specifically with the subconscious mind. It deals with sexual desire, it deals with Kundalini awakening. Okay, give me a second. Let me see where I shall go. So I'm gonna pull another moon card. All right, well, let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Well, we got a couple here. We have growth, and this is a growth right here. Oh, another thing too I have to mention, that's why I have these specifically right here, as a good crystal to work with right now with the Venus energy is rose quartz, or quartz altogether, like clear quartz. But I really feel like amethyst is another one, and the rose quartz. All right, now getting back to the reading. Come on, baby. All right. Realization, as one thinketh, and resistance, or resilience, excuse me. And this could be someone that is like in their own mind, in their own headspace, and they're getting in their own way. And so what grows is the resistance. What grows is something that was their greatest fear. But for other individuals, what they feed their mind, they're unlocking different portals and activity in their mind. I'm gonna pull a couple other cards over here. I hear Jason, something about Jason. We have the Daughter of Swords in the reverse. So we have two daughters. It could be two feminine. We do have like a lot of rebirth happening in the feminine energy. I hear crystalline, crystal light, or crystalline. I also hear Sarah and Jessica. So those could be, like, when you look up names on the internet and like where the names derive from, it could serve as a different meaning for some other people, or these could actually be people that are attached to this energy, or attached or attracted to you, and or if you're watching for somebody else. The Two of Wands, and specifically indecision. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, something that will come together, something that will form. And I love that card, the Hierophant card. And the Hierophant is the card of Taurus, and we do have this in the reverse because things are switching from Taurus season into Gemini season. And if you haven't checked out the video about decoding Taurus, like the house, like the three deacons and esoteric, I love that type of stuff. You can check that video out. I will have it in the description box listed down below. So here we have the key. And this was like the hangman in my hand. It's like looking at things from a different perspective. This also seems like the bull's eye, hitting things right on the mark. And when you thought the lock or the key, well, the lock was jammed, or like, oh, I just can't get it, I just can't unlock certain things about me, or certain habits I can't unlock, I can't get rid of, or I just keep missing my opportunity, that this is a good time for the align with the divine spirit and unlock something by having a different perspective, by allowing yourself to be used differently. Someone could have two different choices of lovers here, because we have like this relationship card, and come here, and then we have these two. So it could be an air sign, it could be a fire sign, sun, moon, or rising, but it's like two different people that have different relationships. So it may say daughter, it could be a man, or it could be a woman. It could be someone that doesn't have like a sexual orientation, whatever the case may be. that it's like two different people or two different relationships on the line. This could be two different children or two different households, or if it's not just households, one person with two different, I hear like children's mothers. Like this could be two different women. And the person that's in the middle, like, I'm not exactly sure what I should be doing about this situation. I'm sort of kind of fed up with it. That could just be for a single person. Okay. What you resist persists. And I specifically heard that when I looked at the growth card, because although you may walk away from something or you may try to ignore it, if you don't address it, then it will persist, it will grow. For this specific person, or the couple of situations where I listed where it was two different lovers or two different children's parents or something. All right, so here we have, this could be a couple, and because I had to stop, and reset to do the reading, I looked at the timer and it said 11:11. And as I said, two different, this could be a couple or a lovers or something. So what is going on here? I feel like one should be moving away from the other. And I pause because I hear like Betty, like either this person likes Betty Boo or Betty, something popular with Betty Crocker or Betty Boo, something with Betty, okay? Or it could be a relative, possibly, for whoever. It doesn't matter about the man or the woman, or that could just be energy of an older figure in their life that they're drawing inspiration from. And this could be subconsciously, and is setting them up for some form of failure. And this seems like the ego that is getting in the way. If they were to tap into their intuitive nature and allow themselves to feel their way through situations, then they would have a more successful experience. And that could be in love, or it could be, I hear, in relations. Relations could be something dealing with a job or actual relationship, and relationships altogether. I'm gonna pull a couple runes. This also, and before I pull the rune, let me address this because I feel like I'm supposed to be doing this. Okay. Threshing floor, the chaff, the fire. I mentioned this in the weekly about the scripture. I think it was Matthew 13:22. Don't quote me on that, all right? I will try to have it listed right here. But anyways, in that scripture, that the text read that the farmer, which is representing the overall source, God, the divine, that the pitchfork takes and picks up all of the good wheat, piles it up in a bundle, the collective, okay, and takes the chaff, which is the leftover, which is doesn't serve for any good purpose, the lower consciousness, okay, and puts it in a fire to burn, in an unquenchable fire. So that could be read a couple different ways, but overall, that is saying right here is like that God will take your mess. You allow your you to raise up, like your consciousness, your vibration to raise up. That will be multiplied. And what is left over, the little pieces that do not serve you, will be taken and put into the fire and burned. And the fire represents alchemy, like the alchemical processing, and it will become fuel for to put you on another platform. Okay, so for those, it's many different ways of how to explain this, depending on the situation. For relationships, allowing yourself to pick yourself up, to allow yourself to get rid of the habits and the hangups that have been holding you back. And it even can have been generationally. Oh, my mother or my father didn't have a good relationship. Their mother, their father didn't have good relationships, blah, 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 etc. And this represents the karmic wheel right here, okay? The threshing floor is the karmic wheel. And what the divine is saying is, leave all that behind, leave all those excuses on the threshing floor, and allow me to pick all those excuses up, put them into the fire, and transmute them. And that will be fuel. And you can probably hear Duke. That will be fuel to put you on a whole nother platform with the right mate for you. Okay, bam, right there. Okay, from another standpoint, this is for people that are part of the collective that are healers or light workers, and they could use the modality of tarot. They could use the modality of Reiki. It doesn't matter about the modality. It matters about the spirit that works through you in a modality. Okay, and this is like all of those. It could be for some people excuses. It could be for some people disappointments, habits that have not been changed to produce fruit, and allowing yourself to leave that on the threshing floor for the divine to pick up, put into the fire, and transmute it. Okay, oops. All right, and that will unlock this karmic wheel that has been sort of kind of stuck in position. It's like, gee, I'm not moving, until the key is put into the center and turned and changed. This could also represent the cosmic wheel. This could represent the mind. This could represent the heart. It all is based off of energy and the way how it personally works for a specific individual, and that is, based on them personally. All right, I'm just seeing if there's anything else. All right, now moving on to the runes. Where we have a pregnancy. Could be someone that's pregnant, but the overall message is awaken. I'm gonna try to bring it up close. Okay, it doesn't, I think it's because of the incense, it doesn't want to focus in. But what it is like a little, an eagle head with wings. And what the spirit is saying is like, don't worry how it's going to happen. Just know that it's going to happen, and you carry your faith through. So for example, like a woman, she conceives a baby, like conceives the seed. Initially, she doesn't know that she is pregnant. It's like a seed in there that's growing. It is not, and people around her cannot know that she's pregnant either, even if she does find out eventually. That people will look on the outside and be like, well, I don't see no stomach popping out. I don't see any signs, no signs of life. But as she continues in her pregnancy, that the bulge starts to become bigger and more evident. And as the baby grows, that it starts to show. And this is just representation of your faith, and your faith for whatever specific situation that is for you. So that could be the relationship, specifically for twin flames, those that may be in separation, that on the outside, it may not look like things are working together for the good of the relationship, of the connection. But through your faith and your ascension, that you were able to see from a higher perspective and see how the faith is working on an energetic level, and you just keep doing what you're supposed to do. For those that this is a spiritual business or a small business, a local business, whatever the case may be, online, it doesn't really matter. That it may have started off really small, no different than Walmart, no different than Amazon, no different than any other business. It started off small with an idea that formed a plan. That plan was put into action, and that action kept on and kept on putting more, or the person kept on putting more and more action into that plan, into that idea. The desire was fueled, and it grew, it ascended. Ascended also is synonymous for like grew in size, but it all started with the idea and that desire. And as you continue to ascend and you continue to raise your vibration, activate faith, walk in faith, no different than, anybody else. I love biographies. When you look back at any great person, it all started with the idea, all started with the inspiration and the resilience. Imagine Like, okay, I got to go up a hill with this big old basket of I don't know what is that? I don't know what that is. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That represents um, whatever you're having faith about. But I got to go up that hill because that's where my blessing is. So let me keep on going. As I keep on moving, I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. I may fall down a couple of times, but I'm going to get up because guess what? I'm resilient and I make it to the top of the hill. And guess what? Highly blessed. Everyone can see how exalted I am. All right. Okay. So I'm just seeing if there's anything else to be said. Yeah, so the services will be listed down below, and I will go into more of, you know, what's happening next month and all that stuff during the monthlies. I hope to have out like sometime next week. I don't like to do it like 2, 3 weeks ahead of time because I don't like having that. You're supposed to be like in the moment. Looking too far ahead and being stuck in the future or being stuck in the past does not keep you in the present to know and to be able to feel the flow of the spirit. You know, the Holy Spirit, the Christos energy, the Kundalini, whatever people want to call it, the imagination. Okay, it's just nothing but a name. Okay, that sometimes you got to be so still. It's so still sometimes. It's so quick and it's such like a whisper at times, that you have to be in the moment to be able to feel it, to be able to tune into it. But if you are so focused on like, oh my gosh, what's happening in June, what's going to happen 7 months from now, you know um, you don't need to be stuck in that type of energy. They'll get you tripped up. And because God will always provide the answers when the answers are needed to be provided, and if you are open and receptive to receiving it. Now it is, you do have to have time to plan ahead, but I had to do a whole nother video on, I did a video on divination and what the Bible says about divination, which people really need to study, but it's about divine timing and about with us planning according to divine timing, getting in the loop of using modalities like this, the astros, our guides, it's being in flow. It helps you get into the flow of what God has for you, but not to be hooked on it. But anyways, I'm just going on here. So I will talk to you guys later. Prayer listed down below. I'm revamping the spiritual business course. I'm tearing it down and rebuilding it back up. And for those that already purchased that course, that you will have, I will send you the revamped course. All right, so keep a lookout for the divine cards that I have coming. All right, I'll talk to you later. Peace.